Necessity is the mother of invention, it's oftentimes said, and that indeed is the truth. But whom exactly is related to reinvention? Is it you? Is it me? Turns out that we all are. If you don't believe me, find out how next as we live out loud with Korry Bachia. Hello and welcome to Sheila Lives Out Loud. We are at Westwood Hotel, all set to live out loud with Korry Bachia, a lady who is living proof that reinvention is for life. Yes, it is. Good day to you, lovely lady. I almost said good something. But any moment you're alive and breathing, you probably should have a new introduction that says good moment to you.
Yes, good moment to you, Sheila. Hi, nice to be here.
It's so good to see you. Thank you for making the time to speak with us. And even as we begin this conversation on reinvention, it's only important that everybody knows who you are, because I know who you are, but somebody is tuning in and thinking, who is Korry Bachia?
Korry is a woman who loves to live, who enjoys life, a mother, a proud mother at that, a wife, an entrepreneur. I've tried my hand at quite a few things, all legal, I must add.
I was going there with you in a moment.
No, they're all legal, Sheila, you don't need to worry.
It's okay, your secret is safe with me and my other friends.
Yeah, your million other friends, yes. Also, just a woman who enjoys living life with a passion and understanding the various seasons of life.
So the various seasons of life, and really that's what reinvention is, because what you used to do as a toddler, you will never do as a teenager.
True.
What you do as a teenager, hopefully for most of us, we do not repeat. I know a few, people who are still stuck in that time zone, but really it's about changing, morphing and growing. And when we're talking about that, we'd like to walk your journey with you. Where did reinvention begin?
You know what, Sheila? Reinvention began for me in high school. Why high school? Without going into long stories, we had a difficult upbringing, and so my self-esteem was really pathetic. But I remember one day in high school thinking, what if I actually said what I thought? What would happen? And I tried it, and the world did not cave in. And I actually felt better about myself. And that started me on a different journey to a different destiny, for which I thank God.
And for teenagers, especially teenage girls, and when I see what they're dealing with today, it's a much more different world. There's a lot more pressure and self-esteem issues. I don't think the self-esteem rating for teenage girls has ever been as low as it probably is in this time in history.
That is true.
If you could say something to a teenage girl who has been wondering how to speak her truth and how to just express herself, you found words and you opened your mouth and you were able to say, this is Korry, this is who I am, this is what I don't like, and this is what I want. How do you empower, and what would you say to this teenage girl who's struggling with that and needs to find her voice? Where do you begin?
I think the biggest challenge with any teenager, girl or boy, but mostly girls, you find that they are trying to compare themselves with their peers. And so they are not defined by who God created them to be, but who their peers think they are. And I was talking to a young lady just the other day, and I told her the first thing we need to do is find you, because you're a beautiful young lady. You just don't know it. And so I would tell that girl, that young lady, find you first. And when you look in the mirror, what do you see? And begin to appreciate what you see in the mirror. And sometimes, Sheila, it just even takes combing your hair.
It's small, simple
There's the small,
things.
simple things. Comb your hair, put on some nail polish, put on, okay, even if you don't have a nice lipstick, put on, even if it's like a...
Oil your lips. Just make
something.
Sure
just that makes you feel pretty.
You. Right.
But don't do it for somebody else.
Never for someone else.
Just do it for you. And take baby steps. You will be amazed where you start believing, start hearing the voice within you, the voice of God speaking to you, to realize, because I was not made like many people.
None of us is.
Exactly.
And I think by the time you get to that realization, you could save yourself a lot of heartache and problems along the way if you only just be still for a little bit.
Exactly.
But going back to reinvention, you learned something about speaking up, and this was in your teen years.
Yes.
And you had to reinvent again, moving into your 20s. Circumstances in life changed. What happened next?
Well, first of all, I learned to speak, but I didn't say I got wisdom. So I spoke, and I spoke a bit too much.
Oh my goodness, like most teenagers will do.
And I think I was a horror to my mother.
Oh, wow.
Because I would say things at the most inappropriate times.
But it was coming out.
And I got married young. And my poor mother-in-law, bless her heart, she's a really nice lady. She just took me in as I was. And my poor husband, I say poor because everybody around me had to listen to what I had to say, regardless of whether they agreed or
with
not.
it, or even ready for you to speak
Yes.
or not.
But I'll tell you, being a mother, I was a mother at the age of 25. I got married at 23. God gave me one of the most beautiful children. I always call her my favorite firstborn, you know, because I have two girls. And as a mother, you have to watch your words. You cannot just speak. Because now, remember, the power of life and death is in the tongue. And so I had to reinvent myself again. Because now I had to speak life into my daughter's life. And from when she was this little teeny weeny thing to today,
Yeah.
I have made it a practice to bless my children every single day. My daughter does not go to work without telling me, Mom, I've gone. And she comes to me because she knows I'll speak a word.
Wow. The power of the words that
Yes.
we speak. I've got a friend who, when I speak with her and we have conversations together, sometimes she gives me a hard time and she says, this word's mumbo jumbo, you and your words sometimes, but really words are that powerful, and that's what people don't understand. Sometimes we're trapped in and locked into our situation simply because of what we're saying, because it's these things that we say that are full of life, and we don't know we're giving life to these things every time you say it, and you look around and you wonder, like, why are things like this? And you're speaking it, and you're forming it, and you're shaping it, because it's just coming out uncensored, and you're not paying attention to those words. But knowing that you understood the power of what you were saying to your children, reinvention didn't leave you there, because your situation changed. You were no longer living in the 254. You have had the experience of living in the land of the free, the home of the brave. Tell us a little bit about living there.
That was an interesting part of my life. Very challenging, away from home, away from family. But at the same time, very eye-opening. Allowed me to explore things I didn't know possible. But I'll tell you this, the one thing that I want to just speak to anybody who is watching. As a young girl who grew up in a place where not many desire, even those who live there today, I remember one day sitting down, we had taken our kids to Disney World, and we got to the hotel room, and Sheila, I just sat down and started crying. And my little girl ran to Dad and said, Daddy, Mommy is crying. So my husband comes and asks, what's wrong?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you wouldn't understand. In my wildest dreams, I never thought I would ever see Disney World, let alone bring my children. And for me, it was a very defining moment in my life. Because when I was dreaming as a little girl living in the slums, I never dreamt of Disney. I dreamt of America, but not Disney. Disney was something I saw on TV or in the movies. And at that point, I understood that nothing is impossible.
And you've described being in Disney and being in America, and that is the golden dream for so many, not just in Kenya, but around the world.
True.
But at some point you decided, America, it's been real. Thanks. We're now going home. Why would you even do that?
It was a new season, Sheila. Mm-hmm. It was a new season. I got to a place where I was looking for more. I'm the kind of person who's never content with just what I have. Not because I'm ungrateful, but because I serve a very, 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 very big God. And like you said, we should be like our own oceans. So at the time when I was considering coming back home, It was actually just before the 2002 elections. And a lot of people did not even think it was a good idea. But I don't listen to a lot of people. I listen to what that small, still voice of God in me is telling me. And I knew it was time for a new season. And so I left a very, very well-paying job. We sold our house, packed the kids, and Nairobi, here we come.
What,
And
the
we
city
landed.
in the sun, you
the
were
city
back.
in the sun, except there was no sun, it was there. At that time, it was the city in the trash.
Oh, no. Yes, well.
Yeah, it was.
We've made some massive improvements.
We have
since.
made, not just massive, I am so proud of the steps we have taken. And I think we need to stop beating ourselves down and appreciate the steps that we have made. I, for one, can appreciate that I no longer, before I left Kenya, I used to sit in a matatu, unaambiwa enda bedroom. You know, some of you maybe have never experienced that. You enjoyed the Mishuki laws.
Right.
When Mishuki came, I couldn't believe that we could actually sit in a matatu without someone standing in front of me, you know.
And so here you were, back. You've left America, the land of plenty, and you came back to Nairobi.
Yes.
With intentions of, again, the season had changed. It was now forming and forging something new. What sort of challenges did you face having come from diaspora?
Kenya is a whole different world. I actually felt like a foreigner in Kenya. But people didn't seem to understand that I hadn't been here for over 10 years. And so everyone expected you to know where you're going, and sometimes even the roads where you're going, you didn't know where to go. But apart from that, the biggest challenge, and I had to speak, I actually called myself for an AGM, because if I was going to make it, there was something I had to do. And that was to tell myself, this is not America, this is Kenya. And accept my country for who she is. Embrace her and love her and be part of the change that I wanted to see. And so what I did is I said to myself, Korry, just imagine you never left.
Pick up.
Just pick it up. And put on your boots and get to work. And that's exactly what I did.
So you had a meeting with yourself and it was time to get to work.
Yes.
Something new. What did you decide to do?
I've never been a follower. I'm usually a leader.
That doesn't surprise me.
So I actually ventured in quite a few things over the years. First thing is I actually opened a shop, one of its kind. But above that, before Samantha's Bridal was, Sherehe Africa was already...
You set the pace, really.
Yes, basically. And along with two other ladies, we actually started the Sherehe Africa Bridal Fair, because at the time I came into the wedding industry and there was no platform for marketing our businesses, which is what I had ventured to. The season for that ended. I continued in business, but because I believe in improving myself, I also went back to school, got my master's, and I was dealing with wedding couples, and I also went into counseling. And I continued with that. The season for that ended. We have
We're
seasons,
really flying through, yes, and they come at you.
and they were coming fast and furious, and trying to balance being a mom, being very active in my church, and also business. And really, I believe in leaving people better than you found them.
Right.
And so, a lot of the couples that I was dealing with from the business side also needed help. On the marriage side, I'm fortunate. I've been now married. This year will be 25 years.
Well done.
Thank you.
God is good.
With the same man, 30 years.
Yes.
God knows it has taken his hand. But that has helped me. But that season of running the wedding business also came to an end. And I matured like fine wine. And now I am really excited, because I believe I am now at the place where I don't just know who I am, I understand my purpose. And so all this reinvention is taking me to that place of purpose. And now I have a new brand.
Tell us about this new brand.
Now this new brand came as a matter of need. Like I said, I am not a follower, I am a leader.
There you
I
go.
had a few challenges with my own skin, especially when it gets dry. When it gets cold, my skin gets very dry. And so I was using some products that I used more on milking cows.
Wow, things were that bad.
Kulikuwa kubaya. It was bad. But God is faithful because it opened an opportunity. You know, in life, you can focus on the problem or the solution. I chose to focus on the solution. So I decided to start my own line of skincare products. It's called Ikena Africa. And really, the mother company is Ikena Africa Enterprises, but the brand is Ikena Naturals, because I realized that most of us have no clue what skincare is all about. And I was the first one to be guilty. I used any and everything on myself, including the soaps, the lotions, the creams, like most of us do. And I was not treating myself right until I learned that the skin is an organ, Sheila.
It's the largest one.
And it's the largest one. I thought it was just there for covering stuff, you know. I realized and I found out it had more purpose. And so now I have actually gone into that on a full-time basis, and I love it because I have been very fortunate to get my product certified by the Kenya Bureau of Standards, which it was like a major milestone.
It's a step in the right, anything worth doing and
Yes.
having,
Yeah.
you have to put the time in.
Yes, and you don't want to be a quack.
No, you don't.
Yes. But I was inspired by another Kenyan lady, Susie Wakabi.
Yes.
She started this in her kitchen. I said, I can also do this in my kitchen. You know, so
And you did the same thing.
Yes, I did.
Some things you cannot remake. Don't
No.
break and reinvent.
Again, if it
the
ain't
wheel.
broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
I really, really believe in inspiring young people, and I'm very big on that. So I run youth camps, and I'm also called by schools.
Right.
This what I make. I actually teach our young people. Like we did a camp in Mombasa
Yeah.
at our facility, Shalom Cottages, and guess what? When we got there, first thing, make your own shower gel.
Wow.
Because-
so you're empowering others as
Yes.
well to find their own steps and create their own products.
And realize that, you know, kind of like what our president did with demystifying State House. You know, in our generation, it was that building, even when you are driving past, you didn't look
Don't
at.
look, yes.
Lest you be caught by the cameras looking. I think we need to demystify so many of these things. They are doable. And like our girl Lupita says, your dreams are valid.
Every single, well, except a few I've heard.
Okay,
there are
well,
a few I've really
again,
got issues with.
Again, let's keep it within
Reason.
Yes.
Within reason. Now, as we close, I've loved talking to you, and I know you've brought us some gifts to give away.
Yes, I have.
And have you got a question you would like to ask for the giveaway? Or would you like me to put out the question?
I think you put out the question.
Okay, what is the name of the product that this lovely lady has put together? You're winning a hamper of this particular brand. What is the name? You can answer that question on my Facebook page. The details are right there on your screen. Send us the correct answer and we'll be looking for you. You could be our lucky winner. And remember, the journey that is reinvention, it never stops. For as long as you're breathing, you've got to keep adapting, you've got to keep changing. What does the future look like for
it's
Korry?
bright. It's burning me. It is so bright. I'm really excited. My kids are grown, so I can actually fly. And I'm looking forward to going around the world, empowering more people. I'm not limiting myself to Kenya. I believe that Kenyans, everywhere they go, are a blessed people. And I believe that I have what it takes to make a difference to millions of lives out there.
You've said it so well. I don't want you to go. Please keep inspiring. Please keep reaching out to many. And please keep that door open. We'd love to live out loud with you again and again and again. Promise us you will be back.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you very much for your time. To find out more about Korry Bachia and her fantastic range, I can't tell you what the name of the range is because you've got to give me the correct answer on the Facebook page. So go on, log on, give me the correct answer, and we'll also put up links where you can get in touch with Korry. You can be inspired, and no matter what age, whether you're a teenager, whether the kids are grown, you can live, love, and grow. Hence, reinvent. Don't sit in one place. Do it now. As always, we are at Westwood Hotel signing out, telling you to live out loud. Good people, thank you for watching.